Hi there and welcome. So you may have heard the term biohacking. It's this idea that we can kind of hack into the body as a system and kind of work around various hitches and glitches and make ourselves almost into this kind of new Terminator style human being. It's been very popular for the past 10 years. There's a lot of people who are really into studying it and finding out small tweaks where you can maximize performance. It's used by a lot of top-rate athletes. And even though I see it a lot in the kind of dude bro marketing, advertising realm of, learn how to biohack your system. Actually, what I have noticed is that a lot of these new biohacks are in fact coming from Ayurveda and the science of life that went with a yogic lifestyle. Now, I don't really love the term biohacking. For me, when I hear it, it feels very violent. It feels like you're grabbing a machete and like hacking at your body. And so it doesn't resonate with the way that I like to approach the body, which is to learn about its systems and then use them to maximize health and wellness. So it's a little bit more of a masculine take, but I did want to draw attention to how Ayurveda is the mother of biohacking and has so many rich little tips and tricks for us to learn to get more and better energy. Biohacking, also known as human augmentation or enhancement, is DIY, do-it-yourself biology aimed at improving performance, health, and well-being through strategic interventions. So is Ayurveda DIY? Yes, it is. Does it improve performance, health, and well-being? Yes, it does. Through strategic interventions? Yes, absolutely. And within all of the practice of Ayurveda, the science of life, is a practice called DINACHARYA. Now, DINACHARYA is a completely strategic intervention of the human body to align with the daily rhythms, to align with the energy of the day. Ayurveda is really like the mothership of the biohack, and DINACHARYA is the creme de la creme because it is a template of daily habits designed specifically to create better energy, more energy, clearer energy, and to avoid places where we lose our energy and therefore giving us more longevity. And I'm going to just go through some of the things that are coming from the DINACHARYA recommendations, and you can see how they have been put into this modern day biohack bubble. In Ayurveda, we want to use the body's system to maximum benefit. And so getting up at the first light and going to bed at the end of the day at the last light is kind of riding the energy of the daytime. Now, in the biohacking world, you would see this about getting up at 6 a.m. and going to bed before 10 p.m. But there's not the extra layer around the energetics of nature. And this is where Ayurveda is a little bit different because it talks about why from an energy point of view. Many of the biohacks people are using to get away with bad behavior, like, for example, staying up past 10 p.m. on the computer. And the biohack might include something like, wearing blue light glasses at night so that you're not or minimally disrupting your circadian rhythm. Another thing that I see in the biohack realm at the moment is cold water therapy. You've seen Wim Hof, perhaps, the ice plunges, wild swimming, and so on. Again, a lot of people are doing these practices just like they're being told it's good for them, and then they're going ahead and doing them. Ayurveda does have cold water therapy within part of its practices as a way to reset the nervous system, and it is very effective. Cold water therapy gives us that kind of spark and creates the nervous system to be responsive quickly and then to be able to relax quickly. However, one thing, a layer that is not considered in the biohacking field that must be considered according to the Ayurvedic, is the constitution of the person who is doing these practices. So let's say you have someone who is very vata, meaning they have a lot of air, they have a lot of space, their nervous system is already a little bit tweaked. Cold water therapy would be the last thing that we would want to prescribe for that person, because they're already out of balance in their nervous system, and this would just agitate them even more. So this is again why, although the biohacking is following the Ayurvedic science, if you like, the layer of the energetic behind it is not necessarily coming through to 21st century Western world. Some of the other things that Ayurveda suggests within the daily habit routine, DINACHARYA, are things like doing oil massage, such as abhyanga. And that is a particular way of massaging your oil with particular oils to detox your body. Again, therefore, toxic buildup is reduced, inflammation is reduced, and you are going to, feel better. You might be also doing something like tongue scraping, another detoxification process that improves health because you're taking the toxins, helping the body take the toxins out. The tongue scraping helps remove the toxins from the tongue, but also helps clean that gut biome. And we now know that the gut and brain health are connected. So there's now an emotional component. So if our gut is kind of gunky, we might be feeling gunky. The brain is gunky because of this connection. So tongue scraping. Optimal exercise. Again, biohacking, I don't think I've seen talking about optimal exercise. This would be taking into consideration, again, a person's dosha, a person's composition, to see whether they needed more kind of cardio type exercise or more of a stretching exercise to keep them in balance, not wear their bodies out. So again, coming back to the idea of longevity and biohacking for longevity, I teach people what kind of exercise is going to best keep them healthy based on their dosha, based on their physical composition. When I guide people through the DINACHARYA course, and they're often really not doing the exercises that would most benefit. In fact, most of the time they're doing too much and it's actually wearing their bodies out. One of the other biohacks that I see coming from Ayurveda and has kind of come into the new age, the modern biohacking, the breathing technique, the breath techniques. Now, over the past 15 years where I've been in this holistic wellness industry and the yoga world, I've definitely seen more breath work coming into play as a way to regulate mood and nervous system, but there's still so many pranayamas, breathing techniques, and more than breathing techniques, energy moving techniques through the breath that are not really coming into mainstream breath work. So again, though, we want to make sure that we're not just like grabbing shiny carrots, right? There's a new thing that bursts out over Instagram and everyone's doing it, whether it's Wim Hof or it's, blue light glasses or it's chakra beads or something, right? There tends to be this looking for just this panacea, and this is now the biohack, without understanding the energy behind it. And this is where I think there is a difference between biohacking and DINACHARYA and Ayurvedic practices, that Ayurveda has a depth to them. It's a long game with the practices. It's not just a one and done. And that's one thing that the biohacking doesn't tell you, that just getting that thing, whether it's the, rock salt crystals or the air purifier or whatever it is, doing it for a few days or a month or whatever is not enough. So it's a long game in Ayurveda, it's a deep game, and it's also simplicity. So there's so much that we can get caught up in, and especially if you are pitta, you are like a real go-getter type person, you want to, live longer, you want to live your best life ever. We can get into this kind of frenzy of the biohack being like, the superhero thing. And I think we just need to sometimes, if you're enjoying the biohack variations, perhaps you're ready to look into how these things can be really integrated into your life every single day. So it's not just a new fad, it's not just this obsessive, holy grail place that you're trying to find to stay young, but a real reverence for your body, using tips and tricks such as meditation, such as pranayama, such as abhyanga, such as tongue scraping, such as food combining, such as movement for your dosha, knowing about your dosha, so that you can make the informed choices yourself rather than just following others and kind of just taking on everything they say. So this is a bit of my work in the world. I am always curious to see how these 5,000-year-old practice is kind of coming through to us nowadays. But I think that there's still a place, especially if you love biohacking, to take it back and see from an energy point of view, like what are the things that I can do to follow the rhythms of the day, little tips and tricks that will help you stay younger, not only physically, but mentally and emotionally. It's routine, it's repeated, it's simple, it's daily habits, but it's knowing why you're doing these little tweaks to your daily rhythm that maybe general people aren't doing. It's not asking you to do anything completely different, but just taking the things that everyone does every day: eat, sleep, rest, move, meditate, and getting them up a little bit higher, awareness around them, so that you can do this DIY biology, so that you can improve your performance, you can improve your health and your well-being through strategic interventions. I'm going to be leading a group starting the beginning of September for 6 weeks through DINACHARYA Live. DINACHARYA means a student of the day or studying the day. And I'll be teaching all of the tips and tricks and biohacks from Ayurveda that will help to shift your life gradually and give you a clear and clean energy every single day. So if you're interested, then I'm going to put the link below and you can check out. I will be taking 12 people through this 6-week journey from feeling kind of off kilter, maybe you're feeling a little depressed, a little low mood, a little groggy, a little funky, and teaching you, not just like throwing a biohack at you, but teaching you how to gently integrate these habits into your daily living so that you can feel a little bit more normalized and have better energy. Thanks for listening. Hari Om, Tat Sat. Namaste.